What's up, guys? Magnetic Repellent. On my way home, bring you guys another great video. Today I'm going to talk about the essential 4 things that it's going to take for you to purchase a home, specifically your first property. So I'm walking to my house now. I'm going to shoot this video in my back deck. So I see you guys in about 30 seconds.
You are now watching the Magnetic Repellent Show.
Hey, what's up, guys? This is Alex W. Leith back again. Another segment of Magnetic Repellent. Hope everybody's doing great. You clicked on this video, click like, click subscribe, share the video out, encourage people to leave comments and chat back with us about their opinions and things. We do value that here on Magnetic Repellent. But what I want to do today, I want to talk a little bit about financial literacy in regards to buying property. Now, here's my disclaimer. My disclaimer is I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a tax preparer. I'm not a broker of any kind. I cannot tell you what to invest in or how to invest in it. You must do your own due diligence and research. I can only tell you what my experiences were and what I did or didn't do in various situations. So, having said that, let's go. I got the top 4 things here that you would need to do when purchasing a home. These are the top 4. There's a lot of variables involved because you're going to have underwriters, you'll have lenders, and the underwriters can be a little asinine. To say the least. I don't want to insult anybody's profession because we need them just like they need us. But some of the questions that they will ask you will really get up under your skin. They will ask things if you like, why do you have debt? You could ask them the same question. Why do you have debt? Why does anybody have debt? The country revolves on debt. That's how the economy turns. But they'll ask you stupid stuff like that. Or in 2001 or 1999, where were you living? Here's 2022. It's like, what do you care about where I was living in 99? So, if there's an underwriter that comes across this video, please respond to why you guys ask the asinine questions. I understand job security. You guys are doing things to make yourself needed or necessary. There is a segment of job security that you guys must, adhere to. You guys have families to support and so forth, so you must feel needed or be needed. But some of the questions are just real ridiculous. So, but anyway, here's my top 4 that you would need to have in place. The top 4 to think about before you even consider buying a home or property, specifically your first property. Okay, because after your first property, things become a little bit more simplified because now you have a property that you can bargain with, that you can leverage, that you can borrow from. You can do second mortgages. You can do a HELOC, which is a home equity line of credit. There's a whole lot of things you can do once you have your first property. But getting the first property is typically the most difficult. So my top 4 things are this. I have a list of things I wrote down. Credit score is the first thing. You typically must have a 640 or better. Preferably a 700 will do just fine, will be your best bet. But if you have a 640, you can get a property on a 640. Some lenders will tell you you can have as low as a 620. They can work it out or work with you in various things. But you'll find it more and more difficult the lower your credit score is. So I say 640 and above is not standard, but you can probably get a loan based off of 640, preferably being your 700s. Of course, 800s is off the meter. That's the top of the line. 830, 850. You get whatever you want. But make sure your credit score is at least in the mid to upper 60s, okay, when you start looking for property, okay? The next thing is the debt to income ratio. Very, very important. Very important. And what that means is the amount of debt you owe compared to your monthly income or your annual income. And it should be less than 50%. Okay? If you're bringing in, $4,000 a month, you shouldn't have over $2,000 worth of debt, because the underwriters want to know that you can actually pay for the property you're buying. So if you're paying out over $2,000 in debt, $2,200 a month in debt, leaving you with $1,800 a month, how are you going to pay for this property that you're trying to purchase? So they look at things like that. So the debt to income ratio is very important. They want to make sure you can afford the property. And so before you even start to look, check your debt to income ratio, start to pay down some of that debt, because they're going to make you pay it down in order to approve you. See, a pre-approval, that don't mean nothing. It's not worth the paper it's not written on, okay? Or it's not worth the paper it's written on, I should say, because they'll actually send you a pre-approval letter that doesn't mean anything. They just, searching for business or whatever. They're soliciting your business to try to get you to say, okay, can you guys help me out? And then once you apply, they put you through the ringer. So it's a whole lot that go along with that. So make sure your debt to income ratio is below 50%, preferably in the 30% range is very, very good, very, very acceptable. So make sure debt to income ratio, very, very important. Also too, and this goes to credit, this goes along with the credit score. Have at least 3 to 4 revolving accounts, credit accounts, that's showing on your credit report. Okay, that's active, that you use regularly. Maybe you pay your bills with them, maybe you do whatever with them. But make sure they're active, they're paid on time or early, because that's going to, of course, boost your score up and give you a higher credit score. That's going to get you into the upper 6s, 7s, maybe even the 8s. Okay, make sure you have at least 6 months worth of payments on record. Okay, so if you got 6 months worth of payments on record, 6 months to a year, over a year, that shows you have a long-standing credit history. Because if you have 1 or 2 accounts and they're only 2 months old, that doesn't fare well for you. So you'll say as a consumer, hey, my credit score is good, I have 2 accounts or whatever, but they're fairly new accounts. So that's not proving that over time that you can pay anyone for an extended period of time, because a mortgage is going to be at least 30 years. And there are options where you can do a 15-year mortgage or whatever, which is very seldom done to the average hard-working 40-hour-a-week American. Nobody's going to do a 15-year mortgage. They're 30-year mortgages, okay? So the underwriters want to make sure that you can pay this debt over an extended period of time. So if you only got 1 or 2 revolving accounts, you've only had 2 months, it's not enough history there. So make sure you got the history there to prove you can pay for a home or a large piece of land, some acreage. They want to know these things. The other thing, and this blindsided me in my search for my first property. I had no idea what this even was. My lender called me and said, there's something on your Caivrs report. I said, what the hell is that? He said, oh, you must owe a student loan or own taxes or whatever the case is. See, a Caivrs report, which is an acronym, CAIVRS, which stands for Credit Alert Verification Reporting System. Credit Alert Verification Reporting System. That's what Caivrs report stands for. So if you owe any kind of government debt, student loan, taxes, if you took out government funding for a business, whatever, they're going to really make sure that either you pay that off or that it's a very low balance and you've been paying on time. Okay. In my case, there was a student loan. It's very old. I had to pay it off. I'm not going to get into the amount, but I paid it off. It set me back a little bit, but I moved forward. I persevered. I got the property. But I was blindsided by that. So make sure you understand what this Caivrs report is. Okay? If you owe a student loan, I know Joe Biden just did the $10,000 student loan forgiveness, whatever. Okay, well if you owe 20 or 30,000, they take 10,000 off, you still owe. Okay? So if the Caivrs report pops up that you owe money, you're going to have to either pay that off in its entirety or have a very low amount that you owe and be making very steady monthly payments that coincide with your debt to income ratio. Very, very important. So once again, I'm going to go over those 4 things real quickly. As I stated, number 1, your credit score should be 640 and above, preferably in the 700s. Okay. Debt to income ratio. Okay. Very, very important. Your debt should be 50%, only 50% of your monthly income or less, preferably around 30-35%. That's how much you make compared to how much you owe. That's debt to income ratio every month. Okay, you have to compare those numbers. Okay, they're gonna look at that. Have at least 3 or 4 active accounts that you've had at least 6 months or more, preferably a year or more, but 6 months typically is enough time. They want to see that you have a history with a creditor for making on-time payments every month. You have a good rapport with your creditors. The only way to have a good rapport is to pay people. Pay them on time, pay them early, okay? And that gives you a high credit score, and that looks good for the underwriters to say he does focus on paying his debts. He pays everybody. It's never an issue, and so forth. And last but not least is the Caivrs report. Caivrs, Caivrs report, which again stands for Credit Alert Verification Reporting System. That's if you owe any government debt. You must either pay that off before you purchase the property or have a very, very low balance and be paying on time with that debt. Okay? So those are the 4 most crucial things that I came across when I was purchasing my first property. I want you guys to understand these things. I want you guys to have a step ahead of the game. Of course, there are other variables. The underwriters will ask you 1,000,001 questions. They'll go up your rear end with a microscope to get this first property. But if you persevere, if you endure, once you got the first property, it's easier as you go along to purchasing other properties. Like anything else, like riding a bike. You know, I haven't ridden a bike at this point. I probably haven't ridden a bike in about 10 years. But if I get on a bike right now, I'll just ride down the street. I never forgot how to ride a bike. It's second nature. So it's the same thing with buying property. Okay? So once again, this is Alex W. Leith here. Magnetic repellent. Do something productive today. Live your dreams. And also remember, if you are of service to no one, you are a disservice to everyone. Magnetic repellent. And I'm out.